Hi, Sandy. Hi, Megan.
Hi, nice to meet you.
At least this meeting won't be as short for you as the last one was.
At a point and tell them that we're streaming live on YouTube, just so they know.
Oh.
Okay. So Tom and Megan, you just met?
Yes.
All right. So we're live on YouTube. So if we talk, just so you
Okay.
know.
Understood.
Thank you.
Understood.
Evening. Good evening.
Hello, Tim. How are you tonight?
Good yourself?
Good. Good. Thank you. We have a new alternate sitting with us tonight, or observing tonight. Her name is Megan Homer. This is Tim
Okay.
Kelly.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Good, Megan. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Any relation to Becky Homer?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
I know,
related
I
to
went-
them all.
Yeah, I went to school with Becky. Back at Faith Christian Academy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, we go way back.
I haven't seen her in years, though.
Yeah, I don't see her. I haven't seen her. I see her on Facebook, but and
Oh,
away we
okay.
go. I love her name on Facebook.
I got you.
And away we go.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
that's pretty funny. She always had a sense of humor.
She does have a sense of humor.
Yes. So you were causing, I'm assuming, yeah.
Want to maximize the screen.
Okay. So hit the thing. Yeah.
To just be able to see
Okay.
more better as more faces come in.
Right. Hi, Jay.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
Good.
I think you know everybody but Megan Homer.
Yeah, I haven't seen Megan before.
Yeah, Megan's sitting tonight observing with us.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Megan, how are you?
Well, thank you.
I have not met Jay.
Oh, Jay, this is Tim Kelly. Tim, this is Jay.
Jay, how are you?
Hi, Tim. You're the shadow man right now. It looks like. So.
Actually, I'm gonna have to put some stuff up. Okay. Yeah, let me put some.
Click on
I like that. Actually, it might be a good thing.
As attendees, 'cause these would be, the applicants. Nobody's there yet.
Yeah,
That's
no
better.
Steve, no Sean yet either.
Is that gonna work? Or is it still kind of? Let me put something
A
else.
little. The window puts a little glare on it, but I can see it.
Yeah, let me put another one up. My
Yeah,
shades.
I've got a glare problem too.
There we go.
Sun's right in the window.
There we go.
I was trying to come up with a better background than the background behind my desk, which is just a blank white wall. But this isn't much better. It's showing the ceiling.
I've got a major renovation going on in my house, so it's so my background is not any better. So don't worry about that. Sandy, I'm going to be sitting out. I'm just going to be observing the first one, I'm assuming.
I am just observing. I think I have to observe too.
No, I have to observe, but the first one is a potential client of mine,
Oh,
so I can't sit conflict of interest.
Yeah, I'm just.
Right.
This is my second, so I'm just observing for this one. Also, I can just sit.
Well, let's hope some of the voting members show up, huh?
Yeah, right.
Well,
That'd be
Jay-
helpful.
Yeah,
You said that.
Jay, if this is your second, you should, if there's no other full-time member, even as an alternate, you're entitled to vote. In other words, we got to get a quorum, and if we don't make the quorum and you're able to vote, you would be
Okay.
entitled to. So even though it's your second meeting.
Okay. I've looked at everything, so.
You've got an easy one tonight.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Well, watching your cat,
Oh yeah, that's Mikey. That's
Mikey.
Mikey. We had Mikey and Molly. They were brother and sister, but we lost Molly a few weeks ago. She passed
Oh,
away suddenly.
sorry.
Yeah. So he's been kind of he's been lost without her.
Yeah, for sure.
She was a sweetheart. It's too bad. He's so skittish. I'm surprised he's actually become, because he doesn't have a playmate anymore. He's actually become much more friendly. If he hears a sound, you'll see him. He'll shoot out of here in a second. As soon as somebody makes a sound, he'll almost fall over with a heart attack. He's
Okay.
very skittish.
Oh dear. Hello,
Evening,
Sean.
Hello, Sandy. Hello, everybody.
Sean,
We have to, do you know Jay? Sean, do you know Jay? You met Jay.
I did meet him at the last hearing, I believe. Good
Yes.
evening, Jay.
Okay, and
Yes.
then we have Megan Homer joining tonight, observing. Is
Hi,
Sean
Megan. How
Igo,
are
our
you?
vice
Very
chairman.
nice to meet
Good,
you.
how are you? Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Morning. Good evening, Tom. Did he hear me or is he ignoring me?
I
There he
waved
is.
at you.
So Sandy, with the latest CDC things kind of loosening up, do you think we'll actually have physical meetings sometime soon, or what's the rumor?
No, I don't know. I had actually read something, I think somewhere, where they were talking about continuing with the remote hearings.
Were they?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they found that they, in some instances, were a bit easier.
Oh,
But I don't know, that's always subject to change, I suppose. But if not, then we'll all meet over there at Town Hall in the hearing room and, well, Sandy, we'll get the candy going.
oh, it's, I gotta mute myself and stick. Wait a minute.
Tim, I like the pet over your shoulder.
yeah, we were just there. Everybody was just commenting. That's Mikey.
Mikey.
That's Mikey. Yes. If he hears a noise, he might fall. He might just jump out of his skin, but he'll sit there for a few minutes. He's very
He
skittish.
looks like he's very interested in this civic process here.
Yeah. He's observing. He's thinking about becoming a member.
There he goes.
Yeah. He's interesting. Yeah. He's gonna check everything out. You have a different background tonight.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah, lost your palm trees.
yeah, no. The palm trees are gone. The palm trees are gone. Winter's over. Back to summer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my virtual background.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get my background cleaned up here. This is my office, but we're doing a major renovation. So I'm kind of stuck in limbo here. A lot of stuff going on.
Okay. Well, that's all right. Is Steve gonna join us? Sandy? Sandy, your mic is muted. Oh, well, maybe she's on the phone.
He was on a phone call. He's on a phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Dick on. Dick Martin's
Okay.
having trouble getting on, and you are live, so your conversations are. yeah.
Okay, so we'll watch our language. Sandy, is Steve joining us tonight, or am I gonna run the show here?
No, he should be. He hasn't come on yet, though.
Okay,
He was going to. So I'm just going to go back to help.
go ahead, no problem.
yeah.
We're standing by. Just let us know whenever you're ready.
I have to sit the first one out. It's a potential client of mine. So
Oh,
I'm just gonna
okay.
observe. All right. I'm in talks with them about doing their pool, so I need to just kind of watch.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, it looks like a fairly straightforward agenda tonight.
This looks like a very easy one. Yes, very easy.
Oh, they're all easy, Tim, aren't they?
Yeah, this is true.
I am gonna do something real quick. I'm just going to zoom out here for 1 second. I'll be back.
So I'm just gonna go on mute, just so I don't cause any problems. But if you need me to come on, just give a holler.
You are unmuted. Sandy, he's in.
Yeah, we were originally using the older link one and that didn't work.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to hang up. Thank you. I'll see you on TV.
Thanks. This is look right.
Good. Hi, Dick. Welcome.
Good evening, Dick. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
Where's Steve?
Hi,
Where'd
Dick.
John go?
Wow.
Sean's off for a second. He said he'll be right back.
Right now, check attendees. Is Paul Tardif over there?
I'm back.
Paul Tardif, did you send an email?
Yeah. Is he supposed to be here tonight?
Yeah.
You should check your Gmail and see what it says.
He- Sandy? Oh, she must be calling Steve, okay.
Sean, were you trying to ask me a question?
Yeah. Did Steve forget about the meeting?
I don't know. I emailed him today. I didn't hear back, but I emailed him about tonight. So, but Paul Tardif can't get on. So I'm trying to help Paul Tardif get on.
Yeah, the only thing is if you want me to chair, that's no problem, but I don't have the verbiage that I need in front of me.
Right. But we don't have right now, Tim Kelly can't sit on this.
Okay,
Jay
many-
was going to be his second meeting of observing tonight. So without Jay, we'd only have yourself, Dick, and Tom.
Put him right to work.
Agreed.
well, I certainly, I mean, I don't think it's a, I don't think it's a rule that we couldn't vary from if we felt the need to. I mean, I would just ask Jay if he's up to speed with moving forward and just coming on board right now. Then I think we should just bring him on board and make him a member for tonight.
Okay. Can you give me one moment to see if I can get Paul in?
Sure, get him in. But in the meantime, though, if you need me to, I know we have a protocol as to how we introduce the meeting and everything. So I don't have that magic language in front of me. I don't know if you need to email it or if you could just tell me.
You want me to do this and you can read this? And I'll send Paul the email, the agenda.
Sean, is that the language? Is that the
Sean
beginning of
doesn't have
the
his part, though.
notice?
Send that to him. Right?
I don't think we
Share
have it
with
on
him.
non-notice.
Can I email it to him?
Yeah. All right.
So
So,
this is for Paul Tardif, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Here. All right, and say,
Try this.
yeah.
Try this. Okay. Sorry, everybody.
Take your time, Sandy.
This is what it's like always with Zoom. There's always drama.
My vote's the hearing room.
Well, you know, they say Zoom is great, but the logistical part is what the
No,
problem
you're
is.
gonna
It's
email
getting
Sean,
everybody on,
right?
getting
Yeah.
everybody
Yep.
ready. Once you're there, then you
Okay,
go
leave
pretty
him.
quick.
Now hit new email. Sean, I go.
File. He needs the script, right? Send. Okay.
It says it doesn't have a subject.
Send anyway. Now Charlie can't get in.
Tell Sean that he sent it.
I just sent the script to you, Sean.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, let me see what I can do here. I'll be right back.
Click mute.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see what the heck his problem is over here.
Right back. Sorry, my wife sprained her ankle today, so I had to go check on her.
Does everybody's screen have a "you are in a practice session" thing on there? Or is that just me? Okay.
I do.
Now.
Technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Nobody can get on.
There you go. Look at your attendees. Just get in.
All right. Where's Steve?
We got Steve.
He was trying to get in.
We
Carter
eventually,
DeYoung, is that not Steve?
Carter DeYoung, yep.
So more.
Okay.
Promote to panelist.
Okay.
I eventually got on by using the link from last week on Thursday.
Did I tell you I'm retiring? Did I mention that? There he is. Don't be mad. I'm
Did-
leaving.
Going on? That would be
Did we
worse.
mention we're not going to let you?
Yeah, no, right.
I think I proved myself here.
I think I'm retiring effective immediately. All right, let's get started, please. Let's get started. I haven't eaten dinner. I want to eat dinner. Hello, all.
10 o'clock.
Pleasure to see you all.
Nice to see you
Good
too.
to see
We're
everybody.
going to introduce our new members and welcome to our group. We hope you'll enjoy us as companions in this long ordeal of needing to help the town and its citizens. I think Sandy, we're gonna send you to a training course, okay?
No, I've already decided what my fate is.
Yeah, okay. Well, one more meeting. We want you to be able to handle the meeting. Sandy's retiring, in case everybody didn't know.
Well, we heard that.
It didn't just happen tonight, but this was a good reason.
I've already written my letter in opposition to the select.
So we've got to reserve some tables down at Compass Rose so we can get.
Oh, don't worry about that. That part we can.
Drinking in Dennis is much more better than in Yarmouth. No good drinking establishments anymore. I remember the old days of 28.
Yeah.
The nightclubs up and down. That was so much fun. What do you think? Can we get the public involved?
Okay, do we have to read the script though?
Well, let's get started. It's now 6 something.
Yeah, go for it.
The May 13th, 2021 meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals is about to convene. As a precautionary measure to reduce the spread of the coronavirus, this meeting will be held by remote participation. My name is Sandy Clark and will be serving as moderator for this virtual meeting. I will now turn it over to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Today is May 13th, regularly scheduled meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. This evening, I'm going to call a roll call at this point to make sure everybody's here and we have a proper quorum. Sean Igo.
Present.
Dick Martin.
Present.
Questions only get tougher. Tim Kelly.
Unmute.
Tom Barron.
Present.
And myself, I'm present. That constitutes a full board. With us this evening is Mr. Jay Frappy, excuse me, and he is a member in waiting. This is his second meeting, and he'll be joining us as a regular member. And as well, we have Megan Homer tonight, who is an alternate. Good, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
And before I go any further, I do want to say to everybody that doesn't know it, our wonderful board secretary, Ms. Sandy Clark, will be retiring very soon. And so everybody that's in our watching audience this evening, we want you all to watch every meeting here on out so we can continue to see Sandy and wish her bet well when you see her out on the street or in a store or at the town hall packing her bags, please. And with that, let's go on with your presentation as moderator.
Thank you. With the quorum present, pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020, orders suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, this meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals is being conducted via remote participation. Although no in-person attendance will be permitted, every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access and participate in the proceedings. Persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by watching via this virtual meeting or the live feed on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel. You may also listen to the meeting by dialing into the number provided on the notice of meeting. The recording of the meeting will also be available on the Town of Yarmouth YouTube channel for future viewing. Please be patient as we work to overcome any technological challenges with the virtual meeting. For all meetings, all audience participants will enter the virtual meeting muted. Participants will be unmuted when called upon to speak by the chair or moderator. All votes must be roll call votes. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself to avoid unnecessary background noise. Do not use speakerphone or Bluetooth devices when speaking. For applicants and presenters, applicants can use the raise hand button or press 9 on their phone to identify themselves to the chair. The moderator will unmute applicants when they are called upon to speak during their portion of the agenda. Applications or presentations provided by the applicant will be displayed in the virtual meeting by the moderator and advanced by the moderator. Or if pre-approved for larger projects, temporary panelist capabilities may be given to presenters to share their screens while giving their presentation. All presenters and speakers need to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation when speaking. For public hearings, during the portion of the hearing designated for public comment, the chair will ask who in the audience has any public comments or questions. Members of the public may speak by selecting the raise hand button or pressing 9 on their phone and waiting for the chair to call on them to speak. Members of the public recognized by the chair are asked to identify themselves by first and last name and affiliation for the public record, and then provide their comment. Prior to concluding opportunities for public comment, the chair will ask one last time if anyone wishes to speak or give additional comment. I now hand the meeting back to the board.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clark. And again, this is, we apologize to all in our watching audience that we ran a little late this evening. We did experience some of those technological challenges that were referenced. First petition is that of 4895, David R. Michalowski and Bettina E. Michalowski, 22 Greenland Circle, Yarmouthport, Mass. is the property that we're discussing. That's in a zoning district R40. This evening, our applicant seeks a variance from zoning bylaw 203.5 for setback relief for a proposed pool. Is the applicant or their representative here, please? And if so, please elevate them into the meeting. I see a name, Paul Tardif.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Tardif.
You can hear me okay?
Presenting this evening?
I would love to.
Well, then please feel free.
All right. Kudos to you, by the way, for the pronunciation of the applicant's last name. It is Michalowski. Perfect. And I'm representing them. They're the owners at 22 Greenland Circle in Yarmouthport. I believe they're on the call in some capacity if they need to be called on for any type of questions. This property is in the R40 zoning district. It's improved with a 1-story single-family house with 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in approximately 1982. The lot contains approximately 15,619 square feet. The existing home, because it was built recently, complies with all the setbacks and other bulk regulations. The house does not sit parallel with Greenland Circle. It's actually slightly askew, which may have added to some of the need for relief that we're asking for tonight. Proposal is they want to install a 14 by 28 foot in-ground swimming pool in the northeasterly corner of the property. The pool is going to be 13.3 feet from the side boundary and 5.5 feet from the rear boundary. There will be a cement patio that's surrounded. They already have a 6 foot tall cedar fence around most of the property that will hide the pool from view. And you do have the site plan. There is, because the house is so centrally located, there really is not a lot of places to put this pool without fitting in the setbacks. The front yard's out, and this back corner seemed to be the logical place to put it. The other thing that has to be done is we have to make sure we locate that pool far enough away from the existing septic system so that we comply with the Board of Health regulations as well. If you also look at where that pool is located on the site plan, you'll see several dark lines just to the east of that. Those are all, there's about 4, we call them pork chop lots or panhandle lots. Those are the long necks that create driveways. And what that neighborhood has actually done is joined all those together, sort of put one common paved area to drive up and down. But in essence, nothing can be built on those 20-foot strips. What you have there is, without even knowing it, you have an 80-foot area where no construction will ever be done on those lots. It's nothing but access to get to those back lots located to the north. Across the street from this property is the Cape and Vineyard Electric Company easement. That's 180 feet wide. Again, nothing can be constructed in there by way of permanent structure. The abutter to the north, and she is noted on the plan, and that's 20 Greenland Circle. And of all the people that could be affected by this pool, and I don't think anyone will, but if anyone could be, it would be that property. And I believe she's in favor of the project. The pool not only abuts that neighbor's backyard, but the lot for the neighbor is actually higher. The terrain actually climbs right there. So their house is way above this and further toward the west. So it really is probably the best location for this pool. The lot coverage with the pool is going to be 12%, so we're not even near lot coverage requirements. We are asking for a variance here tonight. We believe that the petitioners, if not allowed to do this, will suffer a hardship. Not so much a financial hardship like we usually see, but we find it's really an accessory use to the primary use. And, you know, if you can't use your lot to the full extent, I believe that would qualify in this case as a hardship. The other funny thing about it is a hot tub is not even defined as a structure. And that could be located anywhere on the lot. Any other type of residential use could be made of that portion of the property. A brick patio, grills, they could be anywhere, including this location. But even with this hardship, the board next has to find that the hardship arises as a result of the lot and something unique about the lot. And I believe that this lot is. I mean, the shape is odd. There's 50 feet of frontage on Greenland Circle. Across the street is a 180-foot power easement that prevents any houses from being there or disturbances that would be noticed. And to the east, you have these 4 panhandle lots that really create an 80-foot buffer anywhere near someone's house. And so, you know, I believe that is also something unique about this lot that you probably aren't going to find anywhere else in that neighborhood, despite the fact that there are lots of shared driveways. This one is, I think, one of the few with 4. And so I think that is really interesting about this particular lot. And the last criteria is that desirable relief can be granted without substantial detriment to the good of the public or derogating from the intent or purpose of the bylaw. In this case, there's no substantial hardship. There already exists a new fence around this property that would hide anything that, if anyone found it objectionable, or any noise, as people call it. The other thing is, this is a use that's going to be really for 12 weeks every year. We all know we don't have swimming pools outside year round. I think the use of the backyard for typical recreational purposes are allowed with the residential use. Swimming pool is really not going to change the degree of the use, it's just the type of use. So I think that the bylaw would allow this in this case. So I believe that we've met the criteria for a variance under 102.2.2. You should also have, Mr. Chairman, in your file approximately 7 letters in support of this project, including one from the neighbor directly to the rear of this property. So with that, I'm going to leave it. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those for you.
Thank you. Well, as you know, we invite board members first, inclusive of our 2 non-voting members this evening, to ask any questions, but we'll start with a regular member. Mr. Igo, please. Do you have any questions of the petitioner's representative?
Just one. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Mr. Igo.
You said that the abutting lots, there's 2 20-foot strips that abut those back corners. So really the 5 is, for all intents and purposes, it could be 25, correct? Because that's non-usable land.
Well, there's actually 4 pork chop lots that come down together to form one driveway. So you are looking at 20 feet, 20 feet, 20 feet, and 20 feet. We're looking at 80 feet plus the 5 before you could even think about another structure. And even that, you know, you're not going to be able to get a structure on a 20-foot wide area. So anything would be very far away.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly?
I can't sit on this. This is a potential client of mine. So I'm just here to observe this particular.
Oh, okay. Well, we should have announced that in the first and taken you out, but that's okay. Mr. Martin?
Yeah, I think Mr. Tardif made a good explanation as to reasons why this should meet the proper criteria with all the neighbors in favor. And, you know, it amounts to what looks like a corner lot. Most of the land's in front of the house, so there's not much land in the back, and part of that's septic system. So I certainly see how that hardship exists, and it certainly wouldn't be a detriment to the neighborhood, and it's seasonal and pretty much everything that Paul mentioned. I did notice that there's a shed there. I guess it may be over the lot line. Is that correct? To the right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because
because that area is, that swath of land is used for access but they only use really the center portion of it for the driveway. That's probably overgrown and it actually appears to be on the lot. So, yeah, it might be over a little bit.
So that is their shed, right?
It can't be anyone else's. It must be theirs, yeah.
Because of the panhandles, the way they are, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I mean, I might suggest that I think it makes sense that be moved onto the property, but otherwise I don't, I find that the proposal meets the criteria necessary.
Thank you.
Mr. Barron, do you have any questions of the petitioner?
Well, yes, I too agree with Mr. Martin on the positioning of that shed, and also part of the fence that Mr. Tardif has mentioned on the east side. That's over the property line as well. I see the fence on the north, which will encompass the location of the pool, will be relocated to the proximity of the property line. That's fine. But the one thing that Sean Igo mentioned as far as hardship, I don't see a grading plan for the location of the pool. It's being located on a ridge of land between the two properties, 20 and 22 Greenland Circle. The lack of a grading plan makes it difficult to make a really good rationed understanding of whether or not this is a viable proposal. The idea of a grading plan would also show where a retaining wall on the north side or even the northeast corner would have to be located. And any grade separation between the rest of the yard toward the house. So I think that is a significant omission in the presentation of the plan. Now, as far as the idea of a pool in this property, I have no other reason to be in denying it or be in opposition of it. But I think the petition could have been better prepared, particularly with a grading plan, and correct the fencing and the shed.
Thank you very much. Ms. Homer, I see your mic is off, but do you have any questions of our petitioner's representative?
I do not have any questions right now.
And Mr. Frappy, do you, sir?
The only thing I had was, you mentioned that the abutter right behind was in favor of this. I didn't see that in the attachments. I only saw.
Well, I've got 7 letters. I'll read into the record in just a few minutes.
As long as 20 is acceptable, that's what I was just curious about.
Well, I have a question. An above ground pool could be placed in this exact same location, couldn't it?
I'm not sure what they consider to be, if that's a temporary structure or not. I'd have to defer to the building department on that, but.
Well, I've seen 1 or 2 movies where they're temporary structures when they cave in, but that's Beverly Hills Cop or something, I don't know. But anyway, let me read into I have no other questions. To me, it's a wonderful proposal in a perfect spot. I know that area down there, and you talk about being alone. They're nice and alone down there. And if, as everybody has said, if the owner of the abutting lot most affected weighs in, then certainly that would seem to be something that's paramount in that thought process. So Stephen Kennedy and Judith Donnellan, they are residents of 22, they are residents of 26 Greenland Circle. This is authored by Judith Donnellan, dated April 14. I, along with my husband, Stephen Kennedy, reside at 26 Greenwood Circle and Yarmouthport. As abutters, we are writing on behalf of Bettina and David Michael, who own the property at 22 Greenland Circle, Yarmouthport. We have been informed of their desire to install an in-ground swimming pool on their property, and we are comfortable with their wish to do this and support the idea fully. Diane Burke. I'm sorry, I don't have her. Oh, yes, I do. Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Diane Burke, and I live at 16 Greenland Circle across from Bettina and Dave. I understand that they are requesting a variance to install a pool. I have absolutely no issue with them installing a pool in their yard. They are respectful and good neighbors. I cannot imagine that they won't use the pool with the same consideration to the neighbors as they have always shown. I hope you take my thoughts into consideration and approve this variance. A email dated Tuesday, April 13th. This is from Rita Gurin, and is signed by Michael and Rita. Good morning, Susan. Our names are Michael and Rita Gurin. We live at 14 Greenland Circle. Our house is located on the corner directly across the road from Bettina and Dave. They have told us about their plans to have an underground pool in their backyard. We are writing to let you know we have no objections. From Carol B. Collins. Concerning the installation of a pool, I'm sorry, I didn't give her address, 38 Greenland Circle. Concerning the installation of a pool for Bettina and Dave at 22 Greenland. As an abutter, I have absolutely no objection for Tina and Dave to have a pool. How very thoughtful of neighbors to write these in. I'm sure in each instance unsolicited. They have a barbecue over there before these letters are all written. Here's a letter dated April 30, 21 from, I think it's Sandra O'Connor, and it is. She is the resident of 24 Greenland Circle. She writes, although I am unable to attend the hearing on May 13, 21, as an abutter, I have the right to offer comments by writing to the above board. I am, with emphasis, very much in favor of the Michael Wowski's seeking a variance for setback relief, and will make sure that my neighbors know my sentiments as well. Although I will not be there in body, I will be there in spirit, wishing for them a victory in seeking the variance. Reminds me of a Winston Churchill speech. May 5, 2021 Zoning Board of Appeals in reference to petition 4895, David and Bettina Michalowski of Greenland Circle for request for variance for proposed pool. We have no objection, and that's signed by Dorothy and Anthony. I hope I'm saying this right. Please forgive me if I'm not. Darcetta of 46 Greenland Circle. So clearly the neighborhood's in favor, and that's the extent of the correspondence I have. We're now going to open it up to public input, and I'd ask anybody in favor of this petition whose letter I have not read, please raise your hand, identify yourself to our moderator so that she may call upon you and elevate you into the meeting.
We have, Mr. Chairman, we have one, the petitioner has their hand raised.
Has their hand raised?
Yes.
They might want to talk to their counsel before doing it, but that's okay. If they want to chime in, go right ahead and do it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Could you identify yourself, please,
yes.
for our record?
I'm Bettina Michalowski. I was just raising my hand because in the beginning, you weren't quite sure if we were on there, so I just was clicking that the hand was raised. So I just was showing you that we were here. I clearly am in favor of the pool. And thank you very much for, discussing this, but that's why my hand was raised. I don't have any other comment.
Well, thank you very much. Does anybody else wish to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please raise your hand.
I see no other hands raised.
Seeing none, does anybody care to speak in opposition to this plan? If so, please raise your hand.
No hands are raised.
All right, so we now close it to the public's participation and open it up to board members' discussion, deliberation, or perhaps a motion, as it might be. So does anybody, let's go in the reverse order of how we started. Mr. Barron, do you have any comments you'd like to make or anything you'd like to do?
Nothing further. And I would offer the motion to accept petition 4895 as stated,
And without condition.
with the condition that the shed and fencing be properly located within property lines.
I'll
Say that
second that.
again, the shed and fencing.
Correct.
I'll second that, Dick Martin.
Mr. DeYoung, I just was curious. I thought someone mentioned that number 20, the parcel in number 20 was actually in favor of, but I didn't hear their number read off. I was just curious if there was any further on that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, I am in possession of an email from Marlene Fuentes, the owner at 20 Greenland Circle. I know it was emailed to Ms. Clark on May 12th, but if you want me to read it, it's 2 lines long.
Well, let me tell you, I thought I caught everything. I don't see it in my packet, but so you feel free to read it.
All right. To whom it may concern, I, Marlene Fuentes and Brandy Perez, reside at 20 Greenland Circle, Yarmouthport. We are in agreement for variance from bylaw 203.5 for proposed pool. We are not able to attend remote participation at 6 p.m. May 13th, 2021. With respect to the following petition appeal, we are here in writing to say that we are agreeing for them to have a pool. Regards, Marlene and Brandy.
Thank you.
And I do
Fabulous
believe-
neighbors.
Yeah, good neighbors. Yeah.
Really fabulous neighbors.
That's
You
great.
know, all neighbors should be this thoughtful to their community. So we have a motion made by Mr. Barron to approve the requested relief on the sole condition that the shed and fencing surrounding the property be brought within the property itself. Does anybody care to have any discussion on this before moving it to a vote?
The only thing I would like to add, Mr. Chairman, for the record, is I believe that they do meet the criteria for a variance. I do think it is a hardship to the petitioner in the fact that they wouldn't be able to utilize their land as represented by their counsel. I believe the hardship is owing to the shape of the lot, and I don't think by granting this relief would we be substantially detrimental to the public good or degrading from the purpose and intent of the bylaws. For those reasons, I would approve this or ask the board to support this. Thank you.
Thank you very much for always making sure we get those criteria in, Mr. Igo. Does anybody else care to have any discussion on the motion so made and seconded? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying, ooh, no can do. Mr. Barron.
Aye, with the, and Mr. Igo brought up the point that there should be language about the variance.
Yes, that will be, that I'm sure in my draft decision that will be included. Mr. Igo.
Aye.
Mr. Martin.
Aye.
And Mr. DeYoung, aye. So that carries on a roll call vote. 4 in favor, 0 opposed. I'll look forward to a draft decision. This applies to all the petitions this evening. As you know, once that decision is filed with the town clerk's office, 20 days must elapse before it's considered a final decision, at which time you would take that variance to the Barnstable Registry of Deeds, record it, and return proof of recordation back to whoever our board secretary might be then. We'll have an identity.
Thank you very much. Can I just ask a question? Because I'm just hearing about Ms. Clark's retirement. Do you know when that is effective?
I think it's June 18th.
Yeah.
Sometime.
June
Yeah, he
8th.
wants to get his flowers over there by then. I'm sure there'll be a beautiful bouquet, won't they, Mr. Talbot?
There will. She's excellent.
Need some
She's, really
chocolate.
served
Deserving.
served our town well. She's even before the zoning board of appeals with the conservation commission, she was excellent there. So we're gonna miss her.
Oh, thank you.
Sure,
Sure.
one of my favorite people in this world. So we go on to petition number 4896, that of ID Sign Group Incorporated, concerning property located at Shaw's Supermarket Incorporated, 1106 Route 28, South Yarmouth, property in a B2 zoning district. Tonight, our applicant seeks a special permit under zoning bylaw 303.13 and or a variance under 303.5.5.2 to add a wall-mounted sign to the front of the building. Who's appearing on behalf of this petitioner?
I'm
this
like
evening?
flicking everybody.
Sandy, your mic's on.
Who's appearing on behalf of this petition, please? I see a Jamie up here. Is that the,
Right, Jamie is.
How you doing, guys?
are
There
you
he
with ID Sign?
I'm with ID Sign. Yep, correct.
All right, so you're gonna present the petition, are you?
Absolutely.
You feel free to go right ahead. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys. So as mentioned, I'm here in support of ID Sign Group representing Shaw's. Our client is seeking a variance to install an internally illuminated rondelle that is 36 inches in diameter, along with a dimensional letter set mounted on some 1/2-inch standoff pads that are flush mount to the building's clapboard facade. As mentioned, the rondelle is internally illuminated with some clear translucent vinyl graphics. It will have 3-inch thick returns with a gem cap to seat the face to the letter can itself. The lumens, the LEDs illuminate at 156 lumens per foot. And that's essentially it. Yeah, Lexan face, acrylic dimensional letters. The letters will not be illuminated. It'll only be the can. And the overall image area of this exterior sign will be 26 square feet.
So you don't need size relief at all.
So it's I believe it's based on the fact that there are already 2 current existing exterior signs. This would officially be the 3rd.
All right, let's start with Mr. Kelly, please. Do you have any questions of our petitioner?
I do not.
Okay. And going over to, I'm just going by the way I see the lineup on my screen. So if I'm taking anybody out of an order they prefer to be in, I apologize. But Mr. Igo. any questions?
I don't have any questions. I did see the materials that the petitioner did submit, so it's pretty self-explanatory. They are looking for a 3rd sign. I don't think we can grant this by special permit. I do think it needs to be a variance. That's all I have.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Martin, do you have any questions of our petitioner?
So the two wall mounted signs now, we don't have any pictures of those, right? There's the big Shaw sign.
There are currently 2 existing wall signs, and
What's the other one?
exact
You can see the
same
Shaw sign.
Say that again. I apologize.
What's the second one?
It's an exact duplication of the first primary sign, just smaller in scale.
So like on the only pictures I'm seeing of the proposed sign shows the larger Shaw sign to the right. Now there's another sign there too. I'm wondering what that is.
Yeah, it's off to the left side of the building. It's the exact same traditional Shaw's letter set, just smaller in scale and scope.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any real problem with the size. I mean, Shaw's, I think they'd be allowed some additional signage on the side if that was appropriate here, which it's not. Of course, if that was another storefront, that would be another story as well. So there's a very large frontage facade of the building there, so it it does not look out of place at all. I think I'm comfortable with, in terms of the criteria for the variance, I'd have to think a little bit more, but so far I'm okay.
So if I may, it is 258 lineal feet on the building's facade in terms of building frontage. And just to clarify the purpose of this sign, the sign is to promote the new Drive Up and Go service. Drive Up and Go is an acronym, DUG. DUG is to promote the contactless grocery shopping experience in response to the global pandemic. So this is directly related to the COVID pandemic crisis. So this is Shaw's.
Come on, let's not go there, okay? Let's
Okay,
just
but
deal with the
that
sign
is
and
the
it-
honest to God truth. They've
Yeah,
rolled
okay.
this program out across the
Okay.
board.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, now, Mr. Byron, do you have any questions of our petitioner?
No, but I was in the driveway, I mean, in the parking lot today. And I noticed the promotion of Drive Up and Go has already been all over the parking lot in the areas where the carts are stored. There's cardboard or similar placards that are announcing this. So the one sign on the building is just a culmination of an entire effort by Shaw's to promote this new approach.
Correct, yes, sir.
I basically have no problem with it, but I would ask whether or not there was permission sought for the placards in the parking lot.
So those placards were not provided nor installed by our team, ID Sign Group. However, I believe they were installed by a company by the name of Vertec, their construction manufacturing company. And I believe they did seek relief, or they might have brought this up to the board for permission. If you give me a moment, I can look through my emails. I know there was some direct correspondence between a Vertec representative and a town associate.
May have been with the building department, but I don't think it's gotten to us on the board. Or was there a need to bring it to the board?
I think there might have been.
Apologize. If you bear with me, I might be able to recall a copy of this email.
I'm sorry, what are we waiting for?
He's waiting to see if he has an email confirming whether.
Corresponding with the town building department
Yeah, relative.
regarding the
to
installation
existing
of
signs.
the parking stall signs. That, as mentioned previously, that scope of work was beyond our purview. However, I do believe it was discussed with the town, so I'm just looking for some communication detailing that discussion.
Are they temporary signs in nature?
No, these will be permanent fixtures.
No, the ones that you're looking for the email concerning.
No, so those are permanent as well. Those are 3 parking stalls with placards very similar to a handicap, exterior.
Reserved parking sort of placard.
Exactly. Yep. marking the location for the drive up and go experience. So I do have an email here. It looks like it was sent by Billy Fardy with the Vertec Corporation located in Easton, Massachusetts. And he goes on to say, we only have some parking spaces signed. I believe this was sent to a Brad Inkley with the town of Yarmouth. CC'd on the email. Who else is from the town? CC'd on the email are simply correspondence with the Vertec Corporation and Shaw's. So I believe this was reviewed with Billy Farday. I'm not sure to what scope this was discussed. But as mentioned, this was out of the realm of our installation.
Anything else?
Nope. Yep. I just simply
No,
wanted to
Mr.
bring up.
Barron, anything else?
No.
All right. How about you, Ms. Homer? Do you have any questions of our petitioner?
I do not have any questions.
All right. And how about you, Mr. Frappia? Do you have any questions of our petitioner?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, so I want to understand the sign. It's going to be affixed to the building, and the parking decal or the parked car within the red portion of the sign. Is that intended to be a place where people can pull up and obtain their groceries?
Yes, sir. That's simply indicating that the grocery store is now providing this drive up and go contactless shopping experience. When customers are aware of this service, they're then going to be asked to order their groceries online or either call them in. And then
I
they'll
understand
be
the
parking
concept.
in
What
the
I mean,
free-
I understand the concept. I'm just asking, is it intended that cars will pull up in front of that sign at Shaw's?
It's intended that the cars park in the 3 parking stalls designated for the drive up and go program.
Yeah, because there's a fire lane there, right? in
Correct.
front of
Yes.
the building.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
And Shaw's has certainly its main sign on the peak portion of its roof. And down the other end, it has another sign. What's on the other sign?
That's an exact duplication of the primary entrance sign.
Oh, okay, okay.
And if I may, I'd like to share a photo of these parking stall signs with the board. So
Can you do it on a
hopefully-
split screen? No, you can't, huh?
Are you guys
Okay,
able
I
to?
think we got the gist of it.
Okay.
Well, I think they required a permit too, but they're not before us this evening, and violation of the sign code isn't before us this evening to enforce. So we take this petition on its sole merits, that which we're being asked to consider. And does anybody in our public viewing of the petition have anything they would like to say in favor of this petition? If so, raise your hand. Let Ms. Clark know you're there.
Mr. Nicanello has his hand raised.
Oh, always good to hear from Mr. Nicanello. Please invite Mr. Nicanello in. Hi, Tom. You gotta turn your mic on.
Transmission coming through. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. I'll make this brief because I know I already had my dinner, but the Shaw Supermarket has been a member of the Chamber of Commerce and an outstanding business in our community, and has stepped up on many times when some of the other locals have gone on some previous ventures. But I believe the sign is indicating to the traveling public going east and west on 28. Well, actually, it's north and south, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry, that is north-south road, but in our town it goes east and west. But so when they're traveling by, the indication is that the store is now adapting to what the customer wants. So the Chamber of Commerce is in favor of the sign, and like I said, Mr. Chairman, they've been an outstanding member in our community, and we want to make sure all those people that go to work there will enjoy their employment. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your work with the Chamber as always. All right. So Again, does anybody in our audience care to speak in favor of this petition 4896? If so, raise your hand.
No hands are raised, Mr. Chairman.
All right, there being none, does anybody care to speak in opposition to the petition? If so, please raise your hand.
No hands are raised.
All right, so we now close it to public commentary on the petition. We open it up to board discussion and deliberations. I'm going to just jump in real quick and say that this requires a variance. It's not a special permit.
Yeah.
And I think we have to find the variance criteria is met. And I'll leave it up to the board members to try to persuade each other that the variance criteria is met. I think I'm going to shut up in just a minute, but I do think the sign, why I was asking is that where a car is going to park? Because I could see it coming under a directional sign sort of exemption. I'm not sure I know why this sign needs to be there, other than I think it's great that they have this service and they can, when they want to offer it. But this is no COVID decision. COVID is not deciding whether or not we're going to approve the sign this evening. It has nothing to do with COVID other than COVID tripped in the service. So with that, I'll shut up. Mr. Barron, your thoughts on the petition?
I support the petition.
Okay, Mr. Martin?
I have no problems with the actual petition in terms of what's asked for. I think it's within reason. I'm kind of, as I alluded to before, I'm a little concerned as to how it meets a criteria necessary for the variance. So I'll let sounder minds speak to that, though.
All right, Mr. Kelly, any thoughts by you?
I think the amount of frontage that's there, they don't have a lot of signage there already, so I don't think it's going to be disproportionate to the building. So I don't have an issue with it. I think it would be fine.
Mr. Igo, any thoughts?
Yes, I do. And this is speaking in terms of the criteria of the variance. I think in the past, what we've looked to for Shaw's especially is the fact that they're so far off 28. We've granted them sign relief in the past because as people drive by, they may not be able to have enough time to look to the left and see them. We've already granted relief on that building, as if I'm not mistaken, for previous petitions for a variance. And I believe it was for the size of the signs. I think this would certainly meet the criteria in terms of the second prong, which is the shape of the lot, because the shape goes far back. However, I'm not quite sure if it meets the first or the third. The first being whether this is in fact a hardship or not. I don't know that it gets there. I don't know why it would be a hardship, but for them not to be able to advertise their new pickup service. So whether we should degrade from the purpose and intent of the bylaw to grant them that, I think is a question for the board. Standing alone, it probably isn't really that big a deal if it was just this business, but I would caution the board that when we grant relief for these, when the next person comes down the line, they're going to say, you know what, you did it for Shaw's. And we've always struggled with the sign code in this town. And as I've always suggested, the best way to change the sign code is at town meeting and not at the Board of Appeals. So while I don't necessarily have a problem with it, I did see the sketches or the drawings that were submitted by the petitioner. I don't think they look overly offensive, but I am thinking in the back of my head, are we opening up some other can of worms should we grant this relief? We do have someone coming in right behind this on another petition that's going to ask for relief for a variance from the sign code as well. So we are always careful whether this one meets the criteria of the variance in terms of whether it is a true hardship. And if we do grant it, whether we are going to degrade from the purpose and intent of the bylaw, I do think the board should have a discussion on that.
So, I could see that we could say that somehow the shape of the lot, not only its proximity away from Route 28, but also the intervening roads there. And interestingly, the traffic pattern is very strange right there. It comes from a public road behind Shaw's that empties right into the parking lot. And there are then directional roads on the interior of the parking lot that go left, go right. I've seen the placket signs and I don't find them offensive at all, but if they're without permit, they should, whoever erected them should consider whether or not the board of that the building commissioner's office is going to perhaps require them to come in and seek a permit for it when sign code gets enforced. I agree. I just, the town spoke recently on this sign code at town meeting. They revised this, I bet, no more than 4 years ago. And they did it from a very antiquated sign code to a real sincere effort on the part of the town and the commercial businesses and the input. I know I sat on it. I'm not sure if any other board member sat on the sign code revision committee. And ultimately it went to town meeting and it was passed. And it was passed not allowing this sort of thing to occur. In fact, to give precedent some view, we'll go back if we could to any board member that might have sat on the CVS Station Ave building, where they wanted a relief for signs on each side of the building. And that made sense in that application. But I can't justify how we are not derogating from what the town meeting said. I mean, I want to grant this sign because I think it serves a great purpose. It's a wonderful service and it's not offensive in any manner to me. But I think it's got to come first through an action by the town meeting, amending the bylaws to allow for this sort of thing. I do agree that it's a great service. Let me say that again. But I know I can't support it for that very reason. That I think in this instance, we absolutely are derogating from the nature and intent of the bylaw as was so recently passed. So I'm going to be voting nay if we come to a vote. I can't speak for any other board members, but please, if you want to if you want to have us go to a vote now, you may get a 4-to-1 vote. Who knows? Would you like us to proceed to a vote, or how would you like us to go? You want to vote tonight, right?
I would imagine that seems to be the best scenario. Yeah, it's to call to a vote tonight. That way I can at least report some type of a finding back to Shaw's. However, if I may, section 303.1, it states that the goals and the purposes is to regulate signage through a mechanism which protects and serves the individuals and economic interests of the residents. It then goes on to say it should promote public safety. And I think the essence of this service does promote public safety. I know it's not a COVID concern. I know you want to kind of step away from that scenario there, but I mean, that is the true purpose of this service. And I actually have a letter here sent from Albertsons Corporation that goes on to say that last quarter, the company reported a 243% increase in its e-commerce business due to this tremendous customer demand for a safe and convenient shopping experience. So I do think that it is not only safe, but it's also convenient. Safety promotes the well-being of society, and convenience is good for the consumer, and that's good for the business, and that's good for the increase of taxes, and it all goes back to the community. So that would be my standpoint and my take on the scenario. Thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate all the feedback from the board. Thank you so much.
Well, I want to tell you, you're a very hardworking and a wonderful advocate for your client, customer Shaw's. Again, that's not persuasive to me, not because of what you say isn't accurate and true, but because we have a bylaw, and the bylaw provides for 3 measures of whether or not a variance should be granted. And one, just, I don't think you meet. And so as a consequence, I just can't do it on the if you will, the technical aspect of the bylaw. The desirable relief can be granted without either substantial detriment to the public good or nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of this bylaw. At this moment in time, the town has spoken relative to a signage. We've been very stringent upon signs, complying with the sign code, but with minimal relief from it for that very reason. So if anybody wishes to make a motion, we can go forward with the motions. Or if anybody wishes to have more more talk on it, more discussion on it, please feel free to say so. All right, is anybody prepared to make a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion in the positive effect. It doesn't mean necessarily the way I will vote. But under petition 48, I would move to approve petition 4896 as requested.
I'll second that.
Sorry to take so long. It takes me ever longer to write notes. So there is a motion now made by Mr. Martin, which I understand is to approve the petition as sought, and a second by Mr. Igo on that petition, that motion rather. So does the board care to have any further discussion before moving along to a vote?
Yes.
Hearing none. Go ahead.
Only to reiterate and reaffirm your reasons, Mr. Chairman, for not supporting this petition. It has nothing to do with the petitioner or the petitioner's business, which is very important to the town, and they've been a very good neighbor. Not only the business itself, but the landlord. They're very good for the town. We certainly support them. This is merely, the reason is because town meeting has spoken. We have a sign code, and the best way to handle this is at town meeting and not before the Board of Appeals. And
So we're going to take a roll call vote. Mr. Igo?
Nay.
Mr. Martin?
Nay.
Mr. Barron?
Aye.
Let's see, who, Mr. Kelly?
I would say Dave for the same reasons as yourself.
And Mr. DeYoung is a nay. So
Yeah.
that then fails to pass on a 1-4 roll call vote.
Mr.
1 in
Chairman.
favor, 4 against. Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Frappy is eligible to vote.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Frappy is eligible to vote.
No, he's not.
He's-
Not only that, we have 5 members already voting on it. We're not going to add a 6th. But my understanding is that this is his second meeting only. Is that correct, Mr. Frappy? Yeah, so he has to attend 2 meetings as a non-voting member.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, for purposes of clarification, is this a vote on the variance relief, because they have 2 forms of relief, request for relief?
Okay, I thank you for that. There is in fact a request for special permit under 303.1.3. And so let's see if anybody wants to make a motion on that part of the application. Anybody prepared to make a motion?
So the first motion was in fact relevant to the variance. If that wasn't,
Yes.
and that should have been part of my motion. And I'll make a motion to, I guess I want to withdraw, right? What do we want to deny? Especially,
Oh,
the special permit.
he needs to ask for a withdrawal if he wants to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we need that as a request from the petitioner.
So I tried the Samsung and I'm close down.
So may I, where would you suggest that I go from here, Mr. Chairman? What are my best options at this point? Because obviously.
Oh, well, wait a minute. We have to act on the special permit request.
Okay, I apologize.
Unfortunately, we can't really give you advice on what to do, but I can tell you that it would make a lot of sense for you to speak with the planning board to see if they could offer up to a town meeting a means by which you could seek relief in this sort of an instance. And that would be something that then we would have as black and white in front of us, directing us as to which manner we should proceed and what we should consider as the criteria necessary for this sort of relief. I
So
believe
may-
it's under where we are today.
Wonderful. So may I, without any prejudice, withdraw my application to the board?
On the motion for special permit,
Sure, as well as the
on the
variance?
special permit. No, we've already acted on the motion. I wish, I would have gladly offered that up to the board for consideration before, but we can't now that we've acted on it. We're not going to rescind our motion, our
Sure.
vote, whatever. But on the special permit, if you wish to withdraw that, we certainly would consider that, I think, favorably. Do you want to withdraw that?
Let's move forward with the withdrawal without prejudice.
All right. Is anybody prepared to make a motion that the petitioner's representative has now made to withdraw the request for special permit without prejudice?
So moved.
Mr. Igo moves. And is there a second? Who seconded?
I second.
Mr. Martin did.
And if I could just make one comment on this relative to the petitioner, should he decide to go to the planning board and they were somehow amend the bylaw, so something like this might be allowed by special permit, you would be able to come back. You are going to be precluded for 2 years from coming back on variance relief.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for
and I think
clarification.
I think you'd probably get the relief you're looking for if it came back as a special permit with the board, with the town having acted on that change to our sign code. So let's have a roll call vote on that motion made by Mr. Igo, seconded by Mr. Martin, to allow the withdrawal of the request for the grant of special permit without prejudice as asked for by the petitioner. Mr. Barron,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Igo,
Aye.
Mr. Kelly,
Aye.
Mr. DeYoung, aye. That is a 5-0 vote. That means that carries, that the petition may be allowed, that portion of the petition may allow to be withdrawn without prejudice. Okay. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much for all your input and your thoughtful, thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry, we couldn't do what you wanted.
Understood. Have a good one.
Yeah. Now. Our next petition is that of 4897 Simple Signs concerning the property located at Music Room, 517 to 541 Route 28, West Yarmouth, Mass. That property is located in a zoning district B2. This evening, our applicant seeks a special permit under bylaw 303.1.3 or in the alternative, a variance under 303.5.5.3 to add a wall-mounted sign to the side of the building. Good evening, whoever's presenting. Would you please, I guess it looks like Charlie. from
Yes,
Simple
how you doing,
Signs.
guys? This is Charlie from Simple Signs.
How are you, sir? You want to?
Great.
Do you have a video there?
I do, but I don't know why it just rejoined me. I don't know what just happened there. Hold on.
Well, I'm sorry because we always like to.
There it is. Okay.
Oh, good. There you go.
Excellent. Good. Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
So the Music Room, they occupied one storefront, and we put a beautiful sign up for them that fit the sign code perfectly. And then they got they leased the second storefront right next to them, the adjoining storefront, and they were they're allowed 7 feet wide and 24 inches tall for a sign for the second storefront. We want to put that on the side of the building, not on the face of the building. Over to the building department, and we applied for a permit and they denied it and said we would need to apply for either a special permit or a variance. He said, but it should fall under the special permit, Mark said.
Is this the same building where there was going to be a childcare center and where there was going to be a paintball or something sort of?
Yes, yeah, there was a whole bunch of different things going in and out of there. But Brian Serponi has put a lot of funds into it and did a beautiful renovation in there. It's going to be a music lounge and I believe wine and beer bar.
And didn't we at some point authorize a sign on the Route 28 skate for the childcare center?
Oh, I don't know, not for us, no.
Okay. All right, well, maybe Mr. Igo, Mr. Martin, Mr. Barron will remember that better than I, but or maybe even Mr. Kelly. So, well, in any event, let's is that what you want to present for the petition right at this time?
Yes, we want to put the sign on the side of the building instead of the face of the building.
Sure. And so we're gonna, my screen keeps getting jumbled up here, so I'm gonna go to Mr. Barron first. Do you have any questions about petition, Mr. Barron?
No.
All right, Mr. Igo?
Yeah, I'm a little confused here. You are here as the music room, and you're telling me you're going to be a restaurant and a bar? Is that right?
It's not a restaurant, I believe. I believe it is and they're fully permitted and have all the right, correct licenses and all. This has been in the works for, geez, probably 2 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They did a beautiful build out in there. They're going to be doing live music and they have a bar and they serve wine and beer.
Where is the entrance to the building, to the business?
On the Route 28 side, directly under the sign that says music room on it.
Okay. So I'm looking at 3035.5.3. And it says for your primary sign, one attached sign per business. This is in a business center. Will be, and I believe you are a business center when we take the aggregate of the businesses in there.
Sure.
One attached sign per business will be allowed, and no sign shall be longer than 1/3 of the length of the building occupied by the business. Now, does that sign that you have there right now, is that longer than 1/3 of the length of the business?
No, the sign that says the music room on it,
Yeah.
that sign is 1/3 the length that they initially occupied. That because they
Okay.
initially occupied 30 feet wide width.
Okay.
That sign is 10 feet wide.
And so that's the main entrance to the music room that is going to be there, correct?
Correct, and that fits the sign code perfectly. We have a permit for that. That went through absolutely no problem.
Now, is there any side or rear entrance to this building?
No, there is no side or rear entrance.
Okay, so if this business in a business center has a rear or side public entrance, then a secondary sign attached, no larger than 4 square feet, shall be allowed at said entrance. So if you don't have a side entrance and you want to put a sign on the side of the building, in my opinion, this requires a variance, not a special permit. I don't know how others feel. I would look to the board to see if they agree with that interpretation.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. They could by right, if they put another door in on the side, they could have another by right, have a 4 square foot sign there. You know, it's a little different in the fact that this was 2 different different units, I guess is the word, here, and that they're being combined, but unfortunately that's not a protection for the party. So I think that, as I said, they could have a door on the side with another, I guess, somewhat smaller sign there, but that's probably all they're allowed. And I would agree with you that I don't think it comes under special permit. We're at a variance again otherwise.
I think the ramp there is actually on the side of the building. I don't know if that makes a difference, because you're actually going to be entering from the side. The parking for that building is going to be on the side of that building. There won't be any parking. There's not actually any parking in front of the building, so you would be approaching the entrance to that from that ramp and having to walk around from the side of the building to the front. So I don't know if if that makes any difference at all.
This sign is just for, it's a changeable copy sign with 4-inch letters, 3 lines of 4-inch letters that would go in and out of it.
They'd what, be announcing who the entertainment's gonna be that night?
Yes.
All right, well, Mr. Kelly, did you have any other questions or comments about the questions of our petition as representative?
I was just gonna say, I think that I thought I remembered there being a sign there at one point. I don't know if it was ever permitted before, but there's the framework for a sign that was there at one other point. So I just wanted to bring that up.
All right, Mr. Martin, did you have any questions of our petition?
No, I don't think beyond what I've said. I think the sign frame that was there, yeah, was built with the building, but and that could have been the only sign for that end unit at that time, and that was probably the original intent. If it was going to be the secondary sign, it would have had to been smaller, although maybe the laws changed since then, I'm not sure.
Are the two buildings now joined, the two units?
Yes, they did. They closed off the front of one and they did put a door from the inside to the other.
So there's no longer a petition that separates the two units?
There's a door that goes in between the two units. The petition
Otherwise,
there.
is the petition closed?
The petition is there still, but they did open a doorway up between the two.
And what's the purpose of that? What's going to go on in the next unit?
They have a gallery there. It's an art gallery. It's for people to go in and it's where you can go buy artwork. Really is what it is.
Well, why don't you just ask for Music Room Art Gallery? Or Yarmouth Art Gallery, if that's the case. You could have another sign. Second unit.
Well, what they're asking for, Mr. Chairman, actually is not a sign to for the business. They're looking for a sign to advertise their acts.
No, I understand.
So I think that falls under a different section.
Yeah.
I think that might be under menu and directory signs, which you might be able to do that. How many square feet is that sign?
It's 14 square feet because we made it 2 feet
Yeah,
tall,
this
which is the
isn't allowed
code,
to be.
and 7 feet wide, which is 1/3 the length of the occupied space.
I mean, technically, I think this would be a sign which would display a restaurant's menu. Not that you're a restaurant, but you're displaying what you have for that evening, which would be your act.
Correct.
Problem is it's limited to 3 square feet.
That's the problem, yeah.
Or actually.
No. The menu and directory signs.
Oh, the menu directory. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's 303.5.7.
I'm trying to find some way to get it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought for sure that there was a petitioner that came in and wanted to have a child care center there. And they had a need for a second sign because of an access issue and how to direct people to the access of the facility.
If you are in the parking lot, like Tim was saying, that's the way that to walk over, and it is going to help light the parking lot a little bit better. There are additional lights in the parking lot, but that sign is backlit and would help.
Again, though, it's just one of those things that I think the way the sign code is written, we do have to consider it as a variance request. And I think you're going to have a hard time meeting the variance request.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, sure, Mr. Of course, Mr. Barry.
The one word that shows for this sign, it says changeable copy. Is this manually changed or is this changed electronically from within the building?
It's manually changed. It's not, the town doesn't allow electronically changed copy.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, we certainly want to let that one fly.
Sure.
Now, I've overlooked, I'm going to offer to Ms. Omer, if you would like to ask any questions of the petitioner, please feel free or provide any comments.
I do not have any questions right now.
All right, Mr. Frappia?
I have no questions and no comments. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to move it along. So unless the board member has a particular question. Let's move it along to and the public's input. Does anyone in our audience care to speak in favor of this petition? If so, please raise your hand so that our moderator may identify you.
I see no one in the audience.
Does anyone care to speak in opposition to this plan? If so, please indicate by raising your hand.
I see no hands raised.
All right, so I do see Tom still here with a hand that appears to be asking it. Did you note him?
Yes, we know Tom.
Tom, are you looking to chime in?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Tom Nicanello again, representing the Chamber of Commerce. As you know, the music room right across from Salty's, the old Christmas tree plaza building, the last tenant was a smoke shop. And these gentlemen have a world-renowned, or United States, they know a lot of artists, and they're going to be bringing some of these real fine musicians here to our community. And they had to put a new septic system in that building because they added some bathrooms and the winery, and I believe there's a door there on the backside. But anyways, these people have joined the Chamber of Commerce, and they put together a great program for our entertainment this summer. And if for some previous actions that didn't happen, I know you don't like the word COVID, Mr. Chairman, but for some previous actions that didn't happen, they were supposed to open up a while ago, and it got deferred and deferred. So here we are, and we're going to have an opening day pretty soon. So we're encouraged that they made a big investment in our community, and we hope that you support the petition for these folks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicanello.
Chairman, may I add where I have the floor? Being a former member of the board, I'd just like to acknowledge Ms. Clark and all her work, and we will surely miss her wonderful way that she has about her. We have people that come to our community and they meet Ms. Clark at Town Hall. She's the first representative of our town, and she does a wonderful job greeting our guests and our residents. And we will surely miss her, but she's a great person, and she's going to have a wonderful family life ahead of her, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, and we all echo that. There aren't enough words to express our appreciation for Ms. Clark and what she's done for the town, not only on our board, but previous boards. So we're closing it off to the public commentary on the petition now that Mr. Nicanello has had his chance to speak, and opening it up for the board discussion and deliberations. I'm happy to have anybody persuade me that it's a special permit versus a variance, but I just don't see it.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, it's pretty explicit what a special permit can relate to in terms of deviating from the relief. I mean, from the sign, the code. And,
yeah. Well, it gives us much more flexibility if it's special permit. Yeah.
No, but I mean, they specify that the portions that can be granted by way of special permit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this fits into it. I wish we could.
Yeah, they're occupying 51 feet total of frontage space between their two units. They're only using 10 feet. They're allowed 1/3, so they're allowed 17 linear feet of signage at 2 feet tall. On the face of the building, they're only using 10 feet of that. That's why we're asking to put the 7 feet on the side of the building instead of on the face.
I mean, it's not that we don't want to do it. I think it's just that we have to stay in compliance with what's before us. As much as we'd love to, as much as I would love to say yes, again, I come to the same problem, and that is that I don't think you meet variance criteria. And I think the action is that we can't offer or legislate changes to this sign code by virtue of the grant of special permits or variances.
So if we take that sign, attach it to the other one and put it on the face of the building, we're fine to do that?
Well, if you're in compliance with the sign code, sure.
That would be in compliance with the sign code, but that would be an absolute eyesore, I believe. Sticking it on the side of the building would look much better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't judge the aesthetics. But in any event, if you'd like us to bring it to a vote, we certainly will be happy to.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, is somebody prepared to make a motion?
Actually, I had just a comment to expound on pretty much what you said. If there are two units there that were allowed signage, if one of the businesses, one could have a business that's similar name or whatever, and then the music room sign could go on the side or whatever. I mean, I think there's the ability for two signs, one in front and one on the side, as long as you maintain the fact that there are two units or two businesses there one way or another. And I think you're kind of doing two businesses now in one sense.
One is the wine bar and one is the gallery, Dick.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah. So put a sign up for the gallery, put a sign up for the wine bar, have two doors. And I think you can potentially get what you want without needing relief. I mean, it's a good, reasonable request that you're looking for, just like the previous petitioner. But in terms of needing a variance, that's something we can't just lightly give unless it meets these particular criteria.
And I think it would certainly should fly with the building department because it is two separate structures. That's why I was asking if you had a petition in the interior, you know, the petition, the one unit from the other. I mean, I can't see why that wouldn't fly. Somebody's mic is open. And if you close your mic while you're talking, it'd be great. So, I mean, I really think that's the way to go, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the vote will, I'll be in the minority. So Mr. Martin, are you moving the petition?
I can move.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how I did that. I apologize. Mr. Martin, I'm talking to myself. Maybe I had the best audience I've had all night. I don't know. Now, Mr. Martin has moved to approve the petition. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Mr. Barron seconds. Does the board care to have any discussion before moving it along to a vote?
I actually missed everything. For some reason, the mic muted when Mr. Martin was talking. I missed everything he said.
I think at the time I may have been muted. So I would like to say again that I would make a motion to approve petition 4897 as requested.
Which Mr. Barron has seconded.
Okay, that's what I thought that's what I thought I had heard. Okay.
Okay, and does the board care to have any discussion on the motion made and seconded before moving it along to a vote? Anybody?
No, I personally think that I could justify the fact that it's coming around the side of the building. So I think that I could justify a yes vote.
And if
Gosh, I wish that I could too. You know, I really could, except I can't in this instance if it's a variance. I could justify it on a special permit. Can't do it on a variance.
We did ask for a special permit.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Because I think it's academic. You can't have both. And I think the variance applies. That's why we're going first with that.
And on my motion, I should have said for the variance.
Yes, of course. And I don't know, does anybody agree or disagree with me that it should be by variance? Happy to.
I think the relief, the proper relief to request for this petition is relief for a variance. Having said that, I think the petitioner fails to meet the third prong of the requirement to obtain a variance, and that is by granting this variance, we would be derogating from the purpose and intent of the bylaw for which the town meeting voters voted some time ago and told us what they wanted to see for the sign code. So unless they change it, I think that we should be following their instruction, their charge. And I don't think, again, as I said on the last petition, I don't think that we should be interpreting the sign code by way of variance. I think it's better left by way of the planning board and then voted on at town meeting.
Yeah, all relief being by special permit. That's
Yes.
certainly what I would endorse at town meeting anyway, I'd hope for. but who knows? So does anybody else on the board care to comment before moving along to a vote? And seeing none, Mr. Kelly,
Yay,
nay,
yes.
Mr. Igo,
Nay.
Mr. Martin,
Nay.
Mr. Barron?
Nay,
I want to make sure it's my hearing, nay?
correct.
Okay. And Mr. DeYoung, nay. Therefore, unfortunately, it fails to carry on a 05 vote, a roll call vote. And now we move along to the next matter, that is the request for special permit. Keeping in mind what Mr. Igo said to the last petitioner, which is you would be barred for a 2-year period should we vote on the special permit request versus if the town meeting changes the sign code, we could still entertain a special permit request at some subsequent day. Do you want to go forward on the motion or do you not?
The town would have to hold a sign code meeting and change the sign code?
Well, the planning board offers up proposed changes to zoning. And that's probably where you'd want to go and suggest that they maybe look at tonight's meeting so they can understand what our problems are with how it's written. And then present some changes at town meeting. If town meeting then approves it, it goes to the Attorney General. If the Attorney General approves it, it then becomes the law of Yarmouth.
Certainly would preserve your rights should in the interim or subsequently, if we do change the bylaw in a fashion that would suit your client's need, you would not be prevented from coming back. If we give you a no vote right now, you can't come back for 2 years, even if they change it.
How long does it take to do us?
Well, I don't know, but I mean,
That could take
if you
5 years,
wanna-
correct?
well, it's up to
I'm gonna
you.
take my chances and throw the dice.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you'd like us to move on your
Yes.
request for special permit? Somebody
Absolutely.
prepared to make a motion on the request for special permit?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the special permit as requested.
Is there a second? Who did?
do.
Mr. Kelly seconds. Mr. Kelly, your vote?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
yes,
nay, I mean, yay?
yes.
All right, Mr. Kelly's an A.
Yeah, but could I just have,
Aye. Mr. Igo,
may I just have a brief moment to discuss the criteria for the special permit and that the petitioner fails to meet the criteria for a special permit because there is no criteria for a special permit in the bylaw as his petition is requested. And my vote is nay.
yeah, this unfortunately lacks one of the things that we can apply the special permit, criteria to. Mr. Igo's a nay. Mr. Martin,
Nay.
Mr. Barron,
On the petition for special permit, aye.
Mr. DeYoung is a nay. That therefore fails to carry on a 2 to 3 vote, roll call vote. The decision will be drafted. It will be filed with the town clerk's office. 20 days are allowed for an appeal. And once that appeal period runs, then it would become a final decision. So thank you very much for your courtesy and tonight in your presentation.
Great, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
We got to get to really a better sign code, just that simple. A petition 4898, that of Michael R. Pagoli, a property located at 39 Main Avenue, West Yarmouth, Mass. It's in an R25 zoning district. Our applicant seeks a special permit under zoning bylaw 104.3.2 for alternative relief for a variance under 203.5 to construct an addition encroaching into the side setback and I guess it's Mike Pagoli that's going to be presenting. And Mike, please feel free to turn your microphone on and give us your face, if you would. Hello, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How you guys doing?
Good,
It's a long
thank you.
night, I can see that. So I'm in petition here, relief requested. I'm putting a 12 by 36 addition on the rear of my house. And I am 3 inches too close to the setback on the left side of the house. The house is actually askew on the property line. It's not perpendicular to either property lines. So as you can see in one of the sections there, it is 5.4 and then 5.7 inches too close, or 3 inches too close. So it's just, I'm not adding any bedrooms or bathroom. I'm adding a bathroom, but I'm just adding a larger kitchen and making my master bedroom bigger and adding a bathroom to that. I put a new septic in because I had an old cesspool. The house has been in my family since '62. And my father actually, well, he built that house. And I think he worked with Dick Martin's father way back in the old days also. When I saw that name come up, I thought it was kind of
that would be Jim.
memories. But yeah, so I'm requesting a special permit and/or variance to set relief with this addition on. The neighbor on my right side of the house has a similar addition. The neighbor on the left side of the house is a garrison, but on the adjacent to her house, they have that same type of an addition.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your presentation, making it so succinct. Just for clarity, I want you to realize that the sideline setback is 15 feet, not 5 feet.
Okay.
So Mr. Mott, would you like to ask our petitioner anything?
Yeah, I think the 3 inches comes because of the, as you said, the skewing of the house. It's 5'7" now. You're looking to go closer to 5 feet 4 inches because of that skewing. And following the existing sideline non-conforming sideline setback.
Correct.
Which doesn't come, which is nowhere near what's required now, but that's a grandfathered situation. If you set it in a few inches, in other words, if you didn't follow that outside line straight back, you'd be okay. But I can understand the reasoning and need for lining that up in a straight line and in terms of both your spaces that you'd like inside and how it might look.
Correct.
So I think 3 inches is not a whole lot to ask for, and I see that as a very reasonable request.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Barron, do you have any questions about petitioner?
No questions. It's very unusual to see such a small, tiny lot. And to try to fit an addition within the small lot, it presents a challenge to any owner. I see no reason to be opposed to this petition.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly, any questions?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to this. My house does the same thing. It wasn't built perpendicular to the property line, so I know what he's going through. So I don't think that's anything that he can change at this point. So 3 inches is I don't think is unreasonable.
It's a strange predicament.
Yeah, mine's the same. Right?
Mr.
Mine's a
Igo?
couple feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Igo?
Yes, I agree with what Dick said. I think it's a reasonable request, noting your statement, Mr. Chairman, that it is a 15-foot setback. I think if the petitioner were to appear before us today seeking relief, whereas he was originally conforming and wanted to come into 5 feet, that might be one thing, but the house itself is already 5 feet off that sideline. It is a difficult lot. It's only 50 feet wide. I don't think it's going to make any difference at all, him putting an addition on the back. It's really the only way that he can go. And it is really the best utilization of the space that he has remaining on his lot. I don't think it's going to be any type of a detriment to the neighborhood either. So I'm going to support this petition, and I would recommend the board to support it as well. Thank you.
Well, I thought this might be close to 50% lot coverage, but it's only 20.6%. So that's a good thing going for you. Yeah, and I just wanted to clarify that it's not a 5-foot setback. It is for the home that you could replace and in the exact same footprint, but this is an addition. And so, it's not something that's been there before zoning was implemented. I do think, however, that everybody's comments are right on the money. We've looked at these houses down on the same avenue before and recognized that there were problems with the lots and the size of the lots. You've got a distribution box back there and a septic system that would probably prohibit any structure being closer than this one would be. There would seem to be no sense to build a structure there, but for the square feet that you're able to add in this one. I'm going to support it as well. Of course, we do need to hear from the public. And I'm also going to invite the 2 non-voting members, please, to now chime in with any questions they might have. Mr. Frappy.
I don't have any questions, but it seems to make sense since it's an existing situation to just extend it.
Thank you. And Ms. Homer.
I don't have any questions at this time.
Sir, could you tell me where the 39 Main Ave is? Is that on your side of the street?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 39 Main Ave. So if you came down.
Okay, I apologize. 36. Where's 36 across the street?
Across the street.
Directly across?
Crossed and over one.
Did you speak to either one of your neighbors here on either side?
I spoke to June. I've been trying to do this for a couple of years now. I spoke to June, who lives on my left side, and I spoke to Kevin. June is the one it would be affecting on her side because Kevin already has this done. And she didn't say yes or no. She was kind of happy. I mean, we help her in the summertime. I am putting a new fence down the property line there. Once it's all done, I just want to do it with construction. But she seems happy.
Good. So I'm just going to read in one piece of correspondence that I have, and that's from Robert Tedesco, and Nancy and Bob Tedesco say as follows by way of an email dated Monday. In reply to the abutters notice for Michael, property located at 39 Main Ave, we are pleased to offer our full support for this project and have no objection granting the special permit and/or variance. And historically, we have always treated these requests as special permits, unless somebody feels differently. I think that's the way we should proceed tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an extension and alteration.
So now tonight, I'm going to ask if anybody in our audience cares to speak in favor of the petition. If so, please raise your hand. Let us know.
I see no hands in the audience.
Hearing none. Does anybody in our audience care to speak in opposition to the petition? If so, please raise your hand and let us know.
No hands are raised.
Boy, I miss in-person meetings. I miss being near all the people and talking with you, seeing hands go up and down, Anyway, so we now close it to public commentary on the petition. We open it up to board discussion and deliberations. At this late hour, is anybody prepared to make a motion?
Yes, I'm going to make a motion that we approve the special permit as requested without any conditions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Barron seconds. Thank you, gentlemen. And on that motion so made by Mr. Igo and seconded by Mr. Barron, does anybody in our board care to have any discussion before proceeding along to a roll call vote? And seeing none, Mr. Barron?
Aye.
Mr. Igo?
Aye.
Mr. Martin?
Aye.
And Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
And Mr. DeYoung's an aye. So that carries unanimously in favor of your request. We are going to need to deal with the variance in just a moment, okay? So let me make notes. All right, and so with respect to that, we can either move it along to a vote on its merits, which I'm pretty confident will be denied because it would be superfluous, or you can ask to withdraw it without prejudice. What would you like to do?
This is all new to me. I mean,
Yeah, you might want to withdraw it without prejudice, but that's a decision only you can make.
do I need the variance or will I be able to build with just a special permit?
Oh, your special permit is what, yeah, you're gonna be able to build.
Oh, so I can withdraw then, and save everybody's time on the variance.
Yeah, and that
Without
also
prejudice.
allows you not to be boxed out for a period of time. That's why we encourage people to do it. So
Okay.
on the request for withdrawal of this, of the variance, that would be, so you understand, sir, without prejudice, which means that you could always reinitiate a request if you needed it for some reason, okay?
Okay.
So there's been a request
you.
made to allow for the withdrawal of the requested relief of variance. Anybody going to make a motion on that?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
So we have Mr. Martin, my pen just running out of ink, if you can believe it. Martin moves and Kelly seconds. Mr. Kelly, a vote?
Yay. Aye.
Yeah, I
Yes.
sing hallelujah, brother. All right, Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Igo,
Aye.
Mr. Barron,
Aye.
Mr. DeYoung is an aye, therefore that carries unanimously. That the variance is allowed to be withdrawn without prejudice. Is somebody gonna, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
The decision. will
Sandy,
be
thank you
drafted.
very much.
All right, 20 days after it's filed with the town clerk's office, that decision then becomes final. You'll take the special permit, you'll bring it to the registry of deeds, you'll record it, and you return proof of its recordation back to our board, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good
Enjoy your
day.
dinner, everyone.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm going too.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
All right. So anybody prepared to make a motion to adjourn? I heard it. I heard the second and I saw the vote. Everybody, good night. Pleasure dealing with
All
you.
right. Thank you
Good
very
night.
much, everybody. Good
My
night.
best wishes to
Thank
all.
you.
Stay
Thanks,
healthy.
Sandy.
Thank you. Thank you again, Sandy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you, Sandy. Don't you worry.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Sandy.
Yeah, thank
Don't
you.
try to leave town before you talk